Namibia, 19 points for Homeboys, 12 for Namibia. Israel Soy with that try, and there's a conversion to come, and it's good coming from Brian Ayimba. You can see Brian Ayimba, that's a man picking the ball inside his own half with a little chip, picked it up, so the having offloaded it, 2 touches, and Israel Soy without final run towards the try, and he scored that. 21-12.
Time to run. Just wait.
Well, the referee asking
Okay.
that the restart be slightly delayed. Quite high in the air from Ayimba.
Advantage, knock on.
Knock-on advantage called by the referee. So Homeboys trying to go forward. And it's picked up by Mark Ongayo, who's coming as a substitute in the second half.
Release!
They do spread it out now. It's with Brian Juma. Ayimba picks it up. And on the ball now is Israel Soy. Dances trying to break through the defensive lines of the Namibians, and he does so! And he scores the second try for him in this game. Israel Soy taking Homeboys to 26-12 up against Namibia.
Ladies and gentlemen, Israel Soy getting his race. After we make through the Namibian defense.
And the conversion is coming in from Brian Ayimba. 4 tries, just look at this. It was a knock-on advantage played on. The ball was collected by Max Kangeri on the tackle, hit the deck, and then immediately from that position, trying to go off wide was Ongayo. Held and eventually has made the passes. That one from Ayimba. It was Soy who danced through the defense.
Advantage over.
Advantage is over as Namibia make a charge towards the
Release,
Homeboys
run away!
inside the Homeboys half. And it's with Bok, floats, and they're going out wide. What can they do with the ball? The tackle is made, and this is against Romanzo. It's now with Aurelio. Over to Bok.
Advantage offside.
And what can they do with this ball? Oh, trying something fancy, and there wasn't no offside against Homeboys, but from that forward pass, almost intentional given the referee's call, so he couldn't go through, decided to do that. So Namibia trying to break through that defense. Chip over the head, and that goes out of play. It's going to be a line now. Homeboys take it very quickly. Ayimba dancing through the Namibian defenses, and with that overhead pass. And still they've got a chance to do so. What can they do? He had seen the space, and now it's with Tifu who picks the ball up. What can he do? He's got Bob for company, and he's got Ayimba. And on the ball now is Jan Remka, and a forward pass has been called by the referee. No try. No try. A forward pass. So the score stays at 28.
The try is cancelled. Homeboys 28, Namibia 12.
Stays 28-12. Just looking at that replay, you could see that Yimba, when he went to make that pass, look at the position of Remka, and just it's clear that he was slightly forward. So it's going to be a scrum going the way of Namibia. We're trailing by 16 points with a minute and a half to go.
Advantage.
Advantage to Homeboys.
No. It's a scrum. It's a scrum.
Think of this, Namibia losing 35-12 to Shujaa, losing 37-7 to the Morans, and now they're losing to a third Kenyan team, and this time round,
Crouch.
it's a club side.
Bind.
Scrum
Set.
for home.
That's too early, too early. Wait.
All wide. Looking for the space. Our homeboys, can they make advantage of the spaces that they have out wide with Zet and Maro? It's now with Ayimba. Long pass out wide to Difu. This man can be a battering ram, but he's topped by Bok.
Aye.
On the ball now is Ongayo. They move forward. It's picked up. That is Akwe. That man was born at the Kakuma refugee camp. Changes will happen. And it's Ayimba. He's through. And he scores the try. It's Homeboys 33, Namibia 12. Son of Benjamin Ayimba. Brian Ayimba scores the try. Homeboys RFC. As he had himself as he tried to try. Doesn't look like that was the case. There's still a conversion to come, and it's now 35 points to 12. Homeboys RFC. They will be playing in that 5th place playoff, and they will be facing Portugal. After this, we shall have the Cup quarterfinal, the Cup semi-finals rather.
Come on.
The restart by Homeboys, trying to get a little clever with a low one. And that was forward, quite clear even from our commentary position. That was just in line with our commentary position. And because it's a scrum, it's an indication that it's full time in that match. And next, we're going to have Spain playing against the against Spain, and this is in the Cup semi-final. 35-12 is the final score. Namibia. So, Kenya against Spain. Is the first of our semi-finals in the main cup competition. Remember, Shujaa are the defending champions of this tournament. Spain to get the proceedings going now. And on the ball is Barranco. They go out wide, making an attempt. And on the ball now is Ignacio Rodriguez. Spinning it wide. On the ball now is Hernandez. And the tackle is made by Olindi with the turnover. It's a penalty against Kenya. And quickly taken, and that is by Matt Sanchez.
We'd also like to recognize the presence of the CEF Sports,
and opting to kick for territory.
Thank you for taking part in the surprise cemetery. Your presence is felt and the support of our team.
It's going to be a line-out for Spain. Spain have got the ball. The tackle is made by Olindi on Rafael Santiago. Spain inside the the Shujaa 22. And the ball is now with Rafael de Santiago making it to the 5-meter line. And a call has been made by the referee, Moses Ndungo. And there was a penalty advantage that was played, but it's been lost. Penalty Spain taken at the 5-meter line, trying to break through the Shujaa defense, and they run past, and Spain score the first try. It's Spain 5, Shujaa 0. Try scored. That's Rodriguez. Conversion coming in from Rafael de Santiago. The conversion is good, and it's Spain 7, Shujaa 0. Look at that quickly taken penalty. Looking for a little space, evading two tackles, Olindi and Tabu, and scored that try. Restart for Spain. This is for the right to play in the final and get a chance to fight for the Robin Cahill Trophy. Bronze, and it weighs 30 kilos. Kenya inside, they are 22, trying to move forward. Look at the ball, and it's with Tabu. And Mugaisi. He's got the ball, goes the ground. Looking for the little spaces. And Daniel Tabu slips through. Oh, this is a man who's been so explosive for Kenya. And he runs all 50 meters of it. And it's a try for Shujaa. Scored by Daniel Tabu.
Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Tabu getting the cross right for the Shujaa side. Bringing the scores to Spain 7. Kenya Shujaa 5.
The conversion is
Spain 7. Kenya.
The conversion is good. That's what we've always known. It's 7-0. The restart knocked on by Kenya, and the man whose cell phone calls him, Lord Leonard Mugaisi, scores a second try for Kenya. It's now Shujaa 12. One converted try. The first one scored by Tabu and converted by Olindi. And it's a second try from the kickoff. This one coming from Leonard Mugaisi. And Daniel Tabu is going to take the conversion. The conversion is successful, and it's 14-7 as you take a look at that from the restart. Leonard Mugaisi, choo-choo train in this team. Scores that try. Onto the restart, and it's the skipper, Eden Aguero. He's going to do the kicking duties. Spain knocked that on. Advantage to Kenya. Can they make use of it? Tabu with the ball. And then it's picked up neatly by Omondi as Aguero gives the ball back. Trying to look for some space is Olindi. Plays it forward. It's an advantage to Spain. With Martha Sanchez has got the ball, running with it. And they kick it through. And having to chase that down is Alvin Otieno, the man they call Bufa. He does get that, and so it's advantage lost. They recycle. And Kenya have got space out wide. Oh, this man Tabu. And you know, depending on how you pronounce it, it can be problems in Swahili. And now it's Tieno, Omondi to Aguero. They're inside their half. What can he do? Aguero dancing through, looking for an opportunity to make an offload. He's tackled and he's pushed at that. Mac goes at deck. Kenya have got the play, and the tackler did not release. Bugaisi with ball on Lindy, actually losing the ball out. Spain have got that ball as the hooter goes to signal the end of the first half. And Spain break through. They've got another chance to score a try. Scores are 14-7, and a burst of pace coming in from Marta Sanchez. And it is a try for Spain. Catches his breath. The hooter has gone because that's definitely the final play of that. And trying to keep himself busy is Haman Humo, who's trying to keep a little bit of problems. And so it is Spain for Spain now. Marta Sanchez going to take the conversion himself as both technical benches set themselves up. The conversion is successful, and it's 14. The halftime score in this game, as we take a look at how this try came about, it was the Kenya team that didn't have that, and Alvin Otieno, the man they called Bufa, not closing in the ranks. There he was catching his breath before that happened. 14-all it is at halftime in the first semi-final, the Wing Cup competition of the 2018 Safari Sevens. Time to get the second half going with the scores tied at 14-all. Shujaa and Spain. The restart, and on the ball now is Omondi. It's with Olindi. Aguero. Mugaisi with a burst of space, runs on the line, able to keep his balance, but the tackle is made. And Kenya trying to go through. One charge coming in from Omondi. It's with Aguero with that long pass. It's Daniel Tabu. He's tackled, holds his ground, dances through, and it is a try for Daniel Tabu, and the Spanish side are wondering what happened. They thought that he rolled up. And that's something the Spanish players protesting at that, but it is a try for Kenya. Shujaa 19, Spain 14. Eden Aguero is the man who's on the ball, going for the conversion. So that try by Daniel Tabu taking, and the conversion by Aguero, taking the scores to 21-14. Shujaa 21, Spain 14. First semi-final, the 2018 Safari Sevens. Kick out by Aguero, and Spain win it. Trying to get out of their own half. On the ball now is Manuel Sainz Trapaga. Passes the ball out to Santos. space out wide, breaking through. Quick offload, and Spain with Thiago Donez and the other Seinstrom Pagabra. Tobias gets the ball, and Spain have it, but an awkward bounce. Now, here is Manuel Sainz-Trapaga. Spain have got the ball, and it is now with Hernandez looking for ends. And now it's Tobias Sainz-Trapaga. On the ball now is Marta Sanchez. It looks like he can find some space with a little bit of a dummy and breaks through the Shujaa defense. How did that happen? Unbelievable from the Spanish side. Short passes, and it's a try for Spain. And that one's been scored by James Marta Sanchez. And it is now Spain 19, Shujaa 21.
Bringing the scores to Shujaa 21, Spain 19.
A successful conversion. It's 21-all. As Paul Murunga brings in the changes now.
Harold Ambati and Cyprian Kuto step up as respectively. Spain will restart the game.
Spain are going to take the restart as Anduvate, Ombachi and Kuto come in for Kenya. Omondi, the guys amongst the players who've left. Kenya win that advantage to them from a knock-on. And it's now with Otieno. Trying to look for some space and some way through is Tabu with Anduvat. Anduvat with the ball. Olindi picking it out. Otieno. It's with Tabu. Aguero trying to dumb it through. He's tackled. And the offload from Dennis Ombachi trying to go through the center. Coming in, drags two Spanish players with him. Tabu. Otieno, Olindi, and some busting space coming in. Anduvati's got the ball, has it broken through, makes a charge for the try line. He's got support coming in from the form of Olindi, and it is a try for Shujaa. It's now 26 for Shujaa, 21 for Spain. Conversion. Daniel Tabu is a man who walks up to where the ball is, getting ready for this conversion. Conversion is not successful, and it's now a 5-point game. There is a try by Harold Anduvate. Well work by the Kenyan side, and it's the restart. Aguero. Shujaa lose the ball out to Spain, and the tackle is made by Ombachi. And Spain trying that little kick and chase out wide. Can they successfully do it? They take a second attempt at it, and chasing the ball down inside his own half. And this is going to be a 20 kick out for Kenya. So the kick out by Kenya blocks and Spain got the ball. It's onside, and it's a penalty to Spain. Trying to break through the Kenyan defense, and they break through, and it's 26-all in this Semi-final. The scorer of that try, Marto Sanchez. 26 all it is as the clock runs down. Well, with the clock having been run down, it's gone. A conversion for Spain would see Shujaa playing in the third and fourth playoff and lose the title of defending champions and become the outgoing champions. The conversion goes wide. And so we are going into sudden death for the third time today. 26 all it is. 5 minutes. Whoever scores fast is the we'll see this team proceed to the final of the 2018. How is this going to go down? So there you can see the two teams. Spain really showing their class today. We had a sudden death game being played when the Lady Cranes were playing against the Kenyan club select in the women's semi-finals. And then we had sudden death, and this going into two halves of sudden death. We had Apache playing against Mwamba. Mwamba eventually winning 7-12 in the second half of extra time. And that was in the playoff for 9th position. So far, 4 positions have been decided. Bottom of it are emerging Uganda, who finished 12th after losing 22-15 to their senior side. And Apache finishing in 10th place after losing 7-12 to Morans. So now down to sudden death. Spain with a restart. Marta Sanchez is the man who's going to be on the ball. Let's take a look at the crowd that showed up. Kick out by Spain, it's knocked on by Kenya, so the advantage should be Spain on this one. What are they going to do here? They reset Marta Sanchez. It's now with Manuel Sainz. Back to Marta Sanchez. And that ball was passed forward, so it's going to be a scrum for Kenya. The pressure being felt. The next semi-final is going to be between the Morans and Samurai. Scrum taken by Kenya, looking to break through. On ball now, fending off 2 people on the top. He's made that almost look high, and he carries them across that halfway line. And it's now Alvin Otieno, the man they call Bufa, a Buffalo. Aguero. Ball's being called for, and is there? There's a call for line out. Which way is it going? It's going the way of Spain. Spain with the line out. Trying to break that down. And it's a penalty to Kenya for holding on, and they're asked to go back to the mat. Aguero gets a play going. Ombachi attempting a handoff. He is tackled. Aguero shoots it out. Kenya looking for space out wide. What can they do here? And off the wheels gone, but the tackle is made. Kenya have got to find a way. Kuto was the deck. Agero. Otieno trying to charge his forward. Breaks through 2 tackles. That one looks high. And he's pulling the Spanish defenders. And time is stopped by the referee. And there's a call for a high tackle. And it's a scene binning. 2 minutes out. They're reduced to 6 because as a tip playing, well, there it was. Tackle was not made correctly. Kenya, remember this is sudden death. Whoever scores a try is through to the final of this competition. Agero to Ombachi. What can Kenya do? They've got a one-man advantage. Ombachi breaking through the tackles. Bufa. And it's out to Anduvate. How fast can he run? And he goes past that line, scores. And Kenya are in the final. 31 points to 26 in sudden death. That's
taking the 27th straight into the final of the 2018 Safari 7.
So there you have it. Kenya will play in the final. After that, sudden death win, 31 points to 26. That's Shujaa over Spain. And Spain will be playing in the third place playoff. And the teams ran out for the second semi-final of the main cup competition. And Michael Kwambo will be taking you through that.
Thank you very much, Daniel. We have just... Thank you very much, Daniel. We have just witnessed an exhilarating semi-final encounter between Spain and Shujaa. Shujaa just winning that one at the death. 31-26 the full-time score after they had tied 26-all in regulation time. Lining up for Shujaa, Sami Motari, Brian Wahinya, Eliakim Kitoi, Timothy Masi, Mark Kwemoi, Vincent Onyala and Eric Ombasa. While lining up for Samurai, Ruan Mostat, Tony Awar, Bram Fenta, Jos Basinkwait, Oscar Dennis, Frank Wanyama and Augustin Lugonzo. As the skies open up here at the RFUEA ground. It's fast and furious action here. The downpour beginning to hit Nairobi, or parts of Nairobi.
Clear chat, clear chat. Yep.
Or is it just a passing cloud? As Oscar Dennis setting up an opportunity for Samurai to ask questions of the Morans. You can see the urgency with which Samurai are approaching this game early on. That's Ruan Mostat.
Again, clear release. Clear release.
Once again, Ruan Mostat. Is he going to breach the whitewash?
Part-time Samurai. Samurai ball
Clear picture.
at the swing.
At the breakout, clear
Bring
release.
the score to Samurai tie.
Referee Monya Ferreira just urging the Kenya players to always ensure there's a clear release at the breakdown. The try has been confirmed by Ruan Mostat. The kicking duties are left down to Kenya Prisons officer Augustin Lugonzo.
We are about to bring the live game between the Tennesseans and Canada in the Repertoire Tournament live from Marseille, France.
The conversion attempt sails wide, and the scores remain 5-0 in favor of Samurai, winners of this competition in 2015. They reached the final in 1998 and 2011, were unsuccessful on both dates, but finally won it in 2015 when it was played at the Mo International Sports Center in Kasarani.
Clear picture. That's on the deck.
Brian Wahinya has a man out wide in Eliakim Kichoi, but that ball traveled forward in the delivery. And some respite for Samurai, because Eliakim Kichoi was in full flight, try line beckoning. Eliakim Kichoi plays his club rugby for Mwamba RFC. Brian Wahinya, the man in shirt number 9 for the Morans, is a university student at the Kenyatta University, and he plays for their team, Black Blood.
Crouch.
A team that has, over the years, produced a number of
Set.
rugby greats, including former Kenya 7s and 15s head coach Michael Tanko Tieno, the legendary Max Munyafu, to name but a few. Fast and furious action continues here at the RFUA ground under a slight drizzle. The ball's hot and slippery too. Mr. Ferreira reaching into his pocket, and Eric Ombasa is off to the sin bin. This is Augustine Lugonzo. Beautiful interplay there that eventually finds Frank Wanyama, loses the ball on the tackle, advantage to the Morans. This is Mark Kwemoe looking for Brian Wahinya, the bounce of the rugby ball, almost letting him down there. Timothy Masi losing his footing.
Tackle, release.
Monya Ferreira just calling for tackler to release. This is Mark Kwemoe. Had a rather quiet National 7 Circuit season, Mark Kwemoe. He was the 2017 National 7 Circuit Most Valuable Player, an accolade taken in 2018 by young Daniel Tabu of Mwamba. Vincent Onyala, that looked like a high tackle.
That's straight to the neck. That's straight to the neck.
Augustine Lugonzo, the law enforcement officer, knows that he infringed the law there.
Roger.
And there's only one chair in the sin bin. Okay, now there are two. Augustine Lugonzo with his Kenya 7's teammate Eric Ombasa, sharing some banter, probably asking themselves how they got into their sin bin situations. But for matters on the pitch, Vincent Onyala just receiving a bit of attention from Lamek Bogonko, who makes sure that he's okay, up on his feet, as a steady drizzle pours over the RFUA ground and its environs. It remains 5-0 to Samurai. We have about 1 minute and 31 seconds to play in the first half of this cup semi-final at the Safari Sevens. Eliakim Kichoi goes into contact. Monya Ferreira once again is calling for that quick release. The ball is on the floor. Wahinya in a bit of a bind.
Release. Release.
Samurai looking to force the turnover, but it doesn't happen. That is Mark Kwemoe with the delivery to Sami Motari, the Morans captain. He was part of the Shujaa team that won the 2016 Singapore Sevens. As the referee calls for the first knock-on, advantage goes to Samurai. 51 seconds to play in this first half.
There we go. A little bit closer. Thanks. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Advantage Samurai. What can they do from this? Frank Wanyama is out wide, and he's up against Sami Motari. Eric Ombasa back from the sin bin is unable to curb the pressure coming from Samurai, and that's the try scorer, Sami Ruan Mostert.
Counteract good.
The counteract was good from the Morans, but the advantage was still with Samurai until the referee called for the penalty. Quickly taken by Mark Kwemoy. A number of Samurai bodies on the floor. Timothy Massey wanted to break clear and run all the way to the try line, but referee Monya Ferreira says enough is enough. Let's go for the halftime break. Current scores 5-0 in favor of Samurai. Samurai in the white, predominantly white shirts. The Kenya Morans in the red strip.
Scoreboard. Again, the sequence game in Canada. The team golf. Little be live on the big screen on the fine.
Happiness.
Scoreboard kindly make sure the game is live for the viewers.
Keep drop. Right, ready? Let's get back.
And we're back for the second half. Ruan Mostad's try is what separates Samurai from the Morans. 5-0 the score in the second cup semi-final at the Safari Sevens. Sami Motari's offload not immediately fielded by Eliakim Kichoe, and possession is turned over. The ball out on the floor.
Back from knock on.
Go back to the initial knock-on. A bit of consultation.
Just fell out. Good. Right here, guys. Guys, right here. Someone knock on. Right. Crouch. Point. Sit. Steady. Hold. Step.
Pram Fenter takes the ball into contact, eventually played out wide. Frank Wanyama offloads to Oscar Dennis. Steps and back into traffic.
New advantage.
The advantage remains with Samurai for the tackle, which is around the neck. Augustin Lugonzo with the quick tap penalty, and Oscar Dennis inches away from the try line. Augustin Lugonzo goes over the chalk for the second try of the game. Samurai 10, Kenya Morans 0.
Try by Samurai. Samurai with a second try, ladies and gentlemen, bring the scores. Samurai 10.
And that is how it happened. Oscar Dennis with the line break. Augustin Lugonzo picking up the ball from the ruck and just going over the chalk.
Wide. Samurai 10. Kenya Morans 0.
It's all right. Right.
ball claimed in the air by Josh Bassingwaith.
No back.
As Pram Fenta just finds his man Curtly Arendse. Now this is Frank Wanyama. And a bit of a tussle there with a bit of a tussle with Mark Kwemoi. This is Hugo Styles. We saw him yesterday score a beautiful try. And from the penalty, Frank Wanyama has a man out wide in Curtly Arendse. Curtly Arendse has one man to beat, that is Brian Wahinya. No contest there as Curtly Arendse goes over the chalk for the third try. And one can just feel Samurai making a return to the Safari Sevens Cup final. And if they do so, it will be their third consecutive cup final. Remember, they won the competition in 2015, lost to Shujaa in 2016. The tournament didn't take place in 2017, and as it so stands, with about 3.5 minutes to play in the second half, it will be another Samurai Shujaa final here at the Safari Sevens.
Just get the timing of the runners.
That restart from Samurai didn't go the requisite 10 meters. It was a free kick in the middle of the park for the Morans. And this is Akadius Kwesa. He is brought to the floor by Pram Fenta. Ronnie Omondi plays his rugby for Mwamba, who finished second in the National 7th Circuit. As we speak, that was Vincent Onyala who decided to attack from the blind. Onyala acting as scrummer with the offload to Akadius Kwesa. But if they do score a try here, they're in with a fighting chance. It is a foot race there. Samurai barely survive. It was taken back by Samurai. It is a scrum down on the 5, and it is a Morans put in.
1.5.
We have about 1.5 minutes to play. Morans need to score 3 times. That would call for a try every 25 or so seconds.
Right, one for you. Right. Let's get him off.
Apologies for some of the language that you may have heard. Sometimes just happens in the heat of the game.
Going around.
And a try for the Morans.
Try time, Kenya.
Is it too little too late?
Ladies and gentlemen, Samuel Matari.
He went over. The conversion is successful from Brian Wahinya. 25 seconds to play.
Bringing the scores for Samurai 15, Kenya Moran 7.
The ball is claimed in the air by Samurai. The buzzer has sounded. What do you do? Tony O'War definitely has no kicking ability, but he's quite big and strong and just breaks through the defense line there for Samurai. Looking to attack. Frank Wanyama didn't expect him to kick that ball. Eventually, Oscar Dennis will be tasked with that duty, and it's full time. Samurai are through to the cup final, setting up a repeat final with Shujaa for the 3rd time in a row. 15-7 result means that these two teams will compete for the Robin Cahill Trophy, which is awarded to the winner of the Safari Sevens. That cup final match coming up at 5:14 p.m. East African time. In the meantime, we'll have action in the women's competition. The third and fourth playoff between the Kenya Clubs Select and Emerging Lady Cranes, as you just catch a glimpse of the crowd here. I wonder what it is that has mesmerized them, because they're all looking up in amazement. I'm not too sure if it's Daniel Wahome sporting a safari hat.
Feeling like, the people who are seated to my left are very important people. They've got hats like this, and you can see that I'm seated to your left. So and just look at it, it's always a family affair. Get them introduced the game late, but the dad has got that fix-on wig to help them do that. The final score is
the Emerging Cranes and Club Select. This is the third and fourth playoff in the senior women's.
Are you ready? Kick in on your right or left.
The Kenyan Club Select.
Well, you've got to say that's what keeps the game going. Faith.
Yeah, Lauren Akoth, Veronica Wanjiko, Maureen Njoki, Fresha Awino, Stacey Atieno, Doris Snyder, Daisy Givetti, and Michelle Akinyi. Lining up for the Emerging Cranes is Nayonjo, Matt Magembe, Ayero, Nakamia, Mufukiria, Nabasiria, Nakalema, Apio, Lydia, Comfort Angaika, Kwagala Diana, and Najuma Yvonne. These two teams finished in third and fourth positions at the close of the classification matches which were played yesterday.
You can't just go on your feet like that, on your face.
All eyes on the Kenya number 11, Fresha Awino. Easily, calm, collected. Scores a try. To put the Kenya Clubs Select 5-0 ahead.
Getting the cross around again, ladies and gentlemen. Bring the goals to Kenya Club Select 5. Rising with rather rugby queen ladies. 0.
And latest from Marseille is that Canada are leading Kenya Simbas by 8-0 in the opening match of the Rugby World Cup. The winner of that competition will qualify for the 2021 in Japan. Advantage is over, and the Kenya Club Select just continue to pile on the pressure on the Emerging Cranes. It is great to see the growth and continued development of women. Two teams are built, and at some point there existed the Women's Elgon Cup, which hasn't been played since 2015. And as we so speak, another attack from the Kenya Clubs Select. Ball is out loose, and eventually the ball comes to touch. But back to what I was saying, phenomenal. It had peaked at a point with the 15-a-side Elgon Cup fixture between Kenya Lionesses and Cranes. Of course, that 15 which is run by ensuring that more young ladies are picking up the game at an early age, and such that by the time they're going into clubs, they have. And also part of that development has seen Uganda's women's team represent Africa at the Rugby World Cup Sevens in Dubai in 2009. The Kenya Lionesses have been perennial campaigners on the African scene and indeed won it. And as we speak, a second try coming through. Daisy Jiveti broke through a number of feeble tackles to go over the chalk.
Senaka, official security provider of the 2018 Safari 7.
Try as the Kenya clubs select lead the emerging Uganda Cranes by 10 points to 0. There was no power behind the kick there, but let's just see that the offload from Monica Mweni. So Daisy Jiveti sprint clear on the blind side to go over the chalk for the Kenya clubs select. Second try. The action is coming to you live on KBC. It's also streaming on the Safari 7's official Facebook page. So to all our viewers watching on KBC and on social media, we do hope that you are enjoying the continued coverage of the Safari 7's. Remember, you can get involved with social media conversations around the Safari 7's using the hashtag Safari 7's. Kenya club select physically dominant in this one. You can just feel the dominance at the breakdown. That was a handling error which spoils a good face of play for the club select. Latest scores from Marseille, France in Rugby World Cup repechage is that Spurs have scored a try, but they still trail. Scores there are 15 points to 5. Canada in the lead.
I need you to bind properly. Long bind. Before ball. No sharp before ball. Sawa. Let's go again. Wait, I need a long bind. Shot. Crouch. Bind. Set. Wait for ball.
Finally, a meaningful stint of possession for the emerging Uganda Cranes. But that will be the last order of business for this half. Select leading by 10 points to 0. 2 tries from Fresha Awino and Daisy Jiveti. Both of them unconverted. 10-0 the halftime score. We'll be back in a minute with the rest of the second half to determine who will finish in third place at the senior women's competition at the Safari Sevens. Lots more action still coming up. There has been plenty of action since Friday when this tournament kicked off. Remember, it started with the women's under-19. It's won by the Hidden Talent Academy from Dagoretti Corner. Later on that evening, we had the veterans competition, which was won by Kenya Harlequin. And now we're in the race to determine the winners of the senior men's and senior women's competitions at the Safari Sevens. Kenya Lionesses will play against the Uganda Lady Cranes in the senior women's competition, while Shujaa will face Samurai in Cup final. All of these matches coming up shortly. And we're back for the second half. The restart is kicked deep into Ugandan territory. But not deep enough to reach Kampala, just it was kicked deep into Ugandan territory. Remember, Kenya and Uganda, a border, and quite an extensive border.
Set. Wait for God. I need you to close this gap so that she can get in. Crouch. Bind. Set.
There's a scrum down deep in emerging Cranes territory. And the Kenya clubs select do have an overlap. Is it really going to matter? It isn't, because there is a try scored. Third try for the Kenya club select. It puts them 15-0 up. Daisy Jiveti is sure with this conversion. 19-0. Oh, that was a bit reckless from emerging Uganda. But the follow through from Shujaa and from Morin Joki, eventually resulting in a line out. Referee Calvin Kimad just informing the emerging Cranes about the next course of play. 22 dropouts. The ball is kicked straight into the hands of Monica Mwini. Ace has slackened up a tad. Plays it through to Faith Kano. There was a knock on there called by the referee, and a forward pass as well. We do have about 3 minutes to play in the second half. It is the Kenyan clubs select with a comfortable 15-0 lead against emerging Uganda Cranes. This is the third place playoff of the women's competition at the Safari Sevens. Still have a number of matches coming up. We will have the 7th place final at 4:30 p.m. at 4:08 p.m. I beg your pardon, and then the 5th place final at 4:30 p.m. 3rd place final at 4:52 p.m. and the cup final, Shujaa versus Samurai, at 4:15 p.m. I just see a glimpse of the incident that saw a Kenyan club select player injured. She has been declared good, though the referee called for substitution.
The long bind. Crouch. Faster, faster. Crouch. Bind. Long one. Set. Set. Turn it. Scrum again.
And the referee calls for another scrum down. Remember, the current scores are 15-0.
I need you to bend.
Kenyan club select up against emerging Uganda in the 3rd place playoff of the senior women's competition at the Safari Sevens.
Bind. Set. Wait for ball. Wait for ball.
Once again, you could just see the physical dominance of the Kenyans. They have been penalized.
Tackle.
Some good movement there.
Back there.
Although emerging Uganda want to attack from fast face, probably have to string up a few more phases of play.
Outside. Ahead.
Ugandan player not on the mark, but eventually the penalty is taken. A bit of a dummy. Nothing like a bit of a dummy. She sold a dummy that was bought by the Kenyans. This match has been kind of a sedate affair of these young ladies.
And a good one.
Introduction to the game has been rather recent, many of them picking it up in the last 3 or 4 years.
Wait for subs. Crouch.
But like as I mentioned earlier, a lot of strides being made in the development of the women's game in these two countries, and also through the initiatives such as getting to rugby. And as we speak, that is a beautiful line break, and she's going to go all the way to the trial. And although the cover defense is coming through, she had enough gas to dive over the chalk. Beautiful try. You have to give it to Club. Beautiful try. Can't take it away from them. Absolutely beautiful.
Try time. Kenyan Club select. Bring the scores to Kenyan Club select 20.
That try takes the scores to 20-0, and can safely confirm that the Kenyan club select will finish 3rd in the senior women's competition at the Safari Sevens. After this, a match between the Kenya Lionesses, who are also the African champions, and Uganda's Rugby Cranes. Rugby Cranes, remember, they represented Africa at the 2009 Rugby World Cup Sevens, and that is it at full time, 20-0 in favor of the Kenya Club Select. Imagine Uganda finishing fourth, but they will take home a lot of experiences from the trip to Nairobi. For many of these young girls, the first trips out of Uganda. For many of these young girls as well, the start of what you would call a rugby legacy. Just a recap of what has happened so far. The Cup semi-final saw Shujaa edge Spain 31-26 in sudden death extra time, while Samurai defeated Morans 15-7. We have just seen the Kenyan Club Select take that is the Cup final in the women's. This one is Daniel Wahome.
All right, thank you. Well, and it's time for the start of the final of the women's competition at the 2018 Safari Sevens. Not bad to say. Catching up the time has been there. It's the Lady Cranes on the left who will be getting us going. They've got Nakitoyo, Nabulo, Mirembe, Rod, Nadunya, and Nandawuk La. We're going to be starting for them. Okelo, Shajura, Orlando, Kabila, Aura, Uche, and Odiamo.
That's the issue.
Some conversations and so it looks like it's been agreed that the match will continue despite the two teams having almost identical kicks. And the kickoff by Uganda, one bounce, and that one is collected by Adiamba. King Lioness trying to break through the Uganda defense as they try to get out of the Uganda 22, I mean out of their own 22, and tackle has made no release. Penalty quickly taken by Philadelphia Orlando. She makes a run and goes sideways, beats one defender, gets the ball to Janet Awino, and she's got the afterburners, beats through the Ugandan defense, and the pass they call Shebesh. Makes one, and it is try time for the Lioness. 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, Black League,
Kenya.
John
Kello, Shebesh.
first try.
As they
Taking
go
the goal to 35. Uganda
ready to
rugby
take the conversion
ladies.
is Sarah Oluche. The flag goes up to indicate that the conversion is good, and it's 7 for the Lioness and the Cranes 0. Kenya going to take the restart. And it's Adiambo who's been given that duty.
The presence of the rugby Cranes from Society of Kenya.
The kick out.
Wonderful people behind the
Up to the
ball.
Uganda 22.
And
And that has been knocked on.
And
that's going to be a scrum for Kenya. Shujaa, Orlando, Cynthia Kamila inside, other forwards for the Kenya
Crouch.
side. With the ball,
Move on.
Yambo.
Set. Hold it fast.
Yambo gets the ball out. It's with Oluche. And it is Aura. Dances through the Ugandan defense. Sees the gap. And the tackle is made onto the 5-meter line. She's got the ball with her. Gets it ready. And the ball is quickly taken. Orlando, the skipper. And it's with Oluche. And she scores a try. The second try for the Kenya Lioness. 12 points to 0. It's still the conversion to come. The kicking duties have been hers for the better part of this tournament, shared with Grace Adhiambo, Oluche.
Let's move.
As instructions are given to the referees. The referee, Noreen Liosi, that the Ugandans move away from the line of sight of the kicker. And the conversion is good, and it is 14 for the Kenya Lioness. Lady Cranes, 0. Kenya with a restart. And that's a knock-on as they tried to make the reception. It was knocked on by Winnie Nabulo. It's going to be a scrum for Kenya. Less than 3 minutes in this half. It's the final of the women's competition, and after this, we're going to have the presentation of the medals for the second place team and the winners, and also the trophy.
Set. Hold it fast, hold it. Hold on. Let's hold. Let's wait for the ball to be, then you can shout.
Instructions you'll see the referee.
Bind. Sit. Hold it fast. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it.
Again.
Guys, let's do it. One ball, one action. Hold until when the ball is in, it's when you can shout. Crouch. Bind. Sit.
And Kenya
Mark is here.
penalized for bringing down that scrum as it was set up, and you're going to get going with Akiti. Ball sent out, and it's collected by Mikembe. Who's aground, breaks through the Kenyan defense, but the tackle is made by
No hands.
Cynthia Kamila. Recycle. And the ball is under Bula, trying to break through. Can the tackle from Aura. Again, and it is now with Nandunya. And we're going to break through. A winner with the tackle. Cynthia Kamila chasing down under Bula. And they've got space out wide. And Yambo is there. Tackle made. They release the ball backwards as they continue with that wrestling march out there. Spreading the game wide. Uganda trying to break through the Kenyan defense. Tackles being made hard. And there was a knock-on by Uganda as they tried to get that ball. Trying to create a work for themselves, but it did not work for them. Uganda making substitution. Coming in for them is Peace Lekura.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Yambo. As Kenya almost lose that ball. She's with Sarah. It's down with Awino. Looking to go around the Uganda defense. She's got the wheels. She's been tackled. Goes past one. Pulling them and eventually goes at ground. Tackle is made with it, and It was entry that was by Philadelphia Orlando, so it's a penalty for Uganda. They take it quickly, not wasting time. Again, the what? Trying to get the Ugandans going, and now it is Lekura. Tackle is made. The hooter goes to gain half-time. A bit of a dummy. Uganda again. Tackle is made. Shujaa trying to break that action down. And a tackle is made by Aura, and that is on Nadunya. Shujaa push the Ugandans backwards. The defense by the Kenyans, they try to turn over from that breakdown. Advantage to Kenya, and that's picked by Cynthia Camila. She loses the ball as it's kicked back. Aura, tackle, the breakdown, the release, and now the ball is with Chajira, trying to use the direct route, and the tackle is made. Breakdown for Kenya. Oluche at the rack. It's with Orlando. Okello, does she have the wheels? Going for the longer route, takes that B-line, moves away from the tackler, and she makes her way to that try area, and it is try time for Kenya. And it is now 19 points for the Lioness, 0 for the Cranes. Sarah Luce with the conversion, and it is good, and the halftime score is Kenya Lioness 21, the Lady Cranes 0. And we're getting back to the action in the second half of this women's final, where Kenya Lioness are playing against the Lady Cranes. 21-0, the score at halftime. And after this, we shall have the presentations to the winners. Kenya with a restart from Adhiambo. And Uganda now moving forward. They've got Lekura on the ball, on to Nandamula, trying to move forward, breaking up, trying to break away from Olat.
Also known as Shamesh, bring the MVP award from Team Hungary Sales Director Miko, and the Executive Award Kenya Regional Director. next one, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Red Whalers taking on Namibia in the 7 and 8 place match. The center referee will be Victor Odua.
Well, we're now getting on to the placing matches, and this is a match for number 7 versus number 8. It's Red Whalers playing against Namibia. The Namibians in all blue, the Red Whalers in red. Michael Kwambo is here with me and to roll down with the action here. The Whalers have got Olaba, Benjamin Marshall, Mayar, Makumi, Keoga, Runol, and Nick Foster. And then for Namibia, they've got Diegar, Emil Block, Nandi Batu, Hilario Carlton, John Andrew Aurelio, Paula Zangula, Giuliano Chisbra, and Frederick Dumay, and Doc Frederick Dumay.
William Bruto, representing Your Excellency, 2 Safari 7s, 2018.
And Keoga is the man who's going to get us going in this game. Red Whalers against Namibia. Namibia played back, and it is collected by Aurelio. Breaking through that Whalers defense was Diekha, and it's big, and it's now Nandu. Can he open up those heels? Hangula sends the ball back with Bok. A little bit of space providing itself for the Namibian side, and it is with Bok again. Aurelio, oh, and he knocks the ball forward. He really knows and feels it. You can see by his reaction. Tells him, you know what, you really got me there. So Keoga's the man who's going to put it in. 4. The Red Whalers, a select side that's playing here at the Safari 7s, 2018 Safari 7s. As we take a look at the Red Whalers at the breakdown, they recycle the ball. It's Keoga. And slicing through, he is Alex Olaba, man who's played for Kenya Sevens, and he gets Namibia's Nick Foster off, gets Namibia's Hilario Carlton off balance, and the Red Whalers do score a try. It's 5-0. Alex Olaba.
The center post score, taking the scores to Red Whalers 5, Namibia 0.
Successful conversion coming in. One from Makumi.
Red Whalers
Gideon
7,
Makumi is the man who scored that conversion.
0.
So it's 7-0 for the Whalers as they play against Namibia. The restart as Michael continues with this.
The scores remain 7-0. The Red Whalers tried by Alex Olaba. Derek Maya just caught up in a spot of bother, being held up by the Namibian players. They've battled through this tournament, that massive counter-attack. But not to the satisfaction of Victor Odor, who calls for the penalty. Gideon Makumi plays his Kenya Cup run for the Strathmore Leos. Beautiful one-handed pass from Derek Maya, finds big Benjamin Marshall. I wanted to abbreviate his name, pronounce it in one motion. Good interplay between Derek Maya, loses the ball in ball is on the floor. And this is Renault. What a way to celebrate that try. And from his motion, I almost thought he was a soccer player calling in his teammates to join him in a jig. But you can see the spring in the step of Daniel Renault. A second try is the Red Whalers leading against Namibia 12 points to 0. This is the 7th place final at the Safari Sevens. We still have matches coming up. The final between Portugal and Homeboys. The 3rd place final between Spain and Morans before the big one, the cup final. Host and defending champions Shujaa taking on Samurai. And there we see Daniel Renault dancing his way to the try line. He was so sure from the moment he got that ball at pace.
So Makumi to get the action going again. One back. Olaba has got the ball. The advantage to Kenya as the Whalers pass the ball out, and
the Red Whalers from the UK. Taking on Namibia.
And it is a try for the Red Whalers. It is now 19 for the Whalers and Namibia 0. So does not get the conversion through. So you can see from that motion as the Whalers were going for their 3rd try, and onto the ball was Benjamin Marshall pulling on, and making that try was Gideon Makumi. 19 to the Whalers, Namibia 0. Whalers with a restart, one single back, and Namibia up got the ball. It's Bok who sends it out. Aurelio sends the ball out, and there's pace and lots of it in the feet of Paulus Hangula, but he is tackled by Renault. It's going to be a line out. It's going to go the way of the Red Whalers. The Whalers, Makumi is the man who's on the touchline, as the referee Victor Dwar asking the players to have their positions right. And it's won by Opal, and it's with Olaba. Actually, this is Olaba. It is Derek Keoga who's made his way, but a tackle is made, and the crowd tends to love it. Sets the rack immediately. But the penalty is called for that. There was an obstruction there. So he had the time to move forward. And that was Carlton. Lario Carlton with that try. Bok feeling the weight of Mayar and Renault. And it's been knocked forward. And the referee says it's half time, and it's 19 for the Red Whalers, Namibia 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, we squeeze the 7th and 8th place match between Namibia and the Red Whalers. The winner of this game will automatically become the 7th place team in the 2018 Safari Sevens. The loser becomes number 8.
teams are making their way back onto the pitch for the start of the second half of this 7th place playoff, and after which there's going to be a trophy that's going to be presented to the team that finishes 7th. So that's just going to be one presentation.
Next game after this, Portugal taking on the Namibia Green Homeboys.
As Namibia get the game going, and that has been knocked on. It's going to be a scrum to Namibia. Scrum Namibia. And they try to make their way through. Nandu Pate loses the ball, and Red Whalers with a round-the-back pass. They break through the Namibia defense, and this is a charge for the try line. The tackle is made. What a pass! Overhead, and it's try time from Daniel Runo. As the match officials just look to confirm that pass is good, it's try time. So it's 24 for the Whalers. Namibia 0. That burst of pace. Kyogi gets the ball. As we take another look at that try, there was that burst of pace coming in from Nick Foster. Overhead pass, and Makuk tried to get it, but it just fell back to Runo, who scored that try. Namibia get the ball inside their 22. Tackle is made, but they feel the pressure coming through as a little bit of football being played, dribbling and all that, and the try has been awarded as the match officials confirm. Yes, the try has been confirmed, and it's Red Whalers now 29, Namibia 0. Actually, the score should be now 29-0.
Red Whalers with yet another try. Taking the scores to Red Whalers 29, Namibia 0.
Still about 4 minutes of play. The Red Whalers to restart as they're leading 29 points to 0. They've scored 5 tries, which 2 have been converted.
Become with a massive goal. The Texans scores to Red Whalers 31.
And with that conversion, that is good. So it's now 31-0 for the Red Whalers against Namibia with a score of that converted try. The restart, Kyoga getting his laces down. Brother Makumi.
Led by Brown Kenya.
Kick out.
Official Kenya Simmons. Kenya Rugby partner.
And we have got the ball stuck inside their 22.
Official host county.
Looking for space to break through. On the ball now is Lago. Off that ball on to Chisbra. And it's now a kick and chase. Who's the faster of the two? Look at that upright run, and Akumi with the ball and plays it backwards. And it's picked up now for the Whalers by Olan. He's in at their 5-meter line, and he has to go a deck and gets a little bit of help coming in from Foster. He's trying to get out. Oh, damn it, for a kick. And this is a charge to the try line. You've got to love that. Keoga leaving everyone, the Namibian players, them on the deck, and he can afford to take a walk and a little jog. And he gives the referee lines to do this official operating stage. And it is now, at this point, Red Whalers 36 and Namibia 0. Running 95 meters to score that try. But the sail of the dummy looked like he was going to punt the ball, then suddenly it was under his arm. He had taken off. The conversion is good, taking the scores to 38-0. For the Red Whalers, who, just by the looks of it, will finish in
last but not least, ladies and gentlemen,
fifth place. 38-0 is the score, with just over a minute of play remaining in this fifth place playoff. After that, we shall have the trophy presentation. And then, sorry, for this seventh place playoff, after that, we shall have presentation followed by the placing match for position 5 and 6. There was a stoppage on the clock.
The Rugby Patron Society of Kenya.
So that is just
support system of the Kenya Rugby Union.
1 minute of play.
Santisana, the Kenya Rugby Patrons.
The Whalers
For the continuous support.
kick up, but there was a knock on
Kenya Rugby Union.
by Olaba. So it's going to be a scrum for Namibia. Ball for Namibia is called Carlton, and that was one big infringement and quickly taken. Tackle is made immediately. As Namibia now looking to offload. It's with Cheesebro going out wide on the ball now is Nazume Stewart with one dummy. It finds Lane's two. The clock has counted down. The hooter has gone. It's now with Bok. We've got 3 men out there. They can make the attack. On the ball now is Domai, and he breaks through a defensive line and scores one try late in the game for Namibia. 38-5.
Ladies and gentlemen, bring the scores to Red Whalers 38, Namibia 5.
Conversion that we are waiting for now.
You're not conversion, ladies and gentlemen. The scores now standing. Red Whalers 38.
So it's 38 for the Red Whalers. Namibia are on 7. Namibia with a restart. Remember, there was a delay that ran for about a minute. As we take a look at that try by Namibia. Just look at Dark Frederick Dumay. He danced through the defenders, and they decided they would bother with the chase. Jog around, just confirm that he made the try. Character, that's what they talk about, the sport of rugby. And that is a free kick after the restart did not go 10 meters. Olaba, as the Whalers get the ball, and Keoga with wheels open at full speed and stops dead. The defender just runs past, and it is a try for the Red Whalers. 43 points to 7 in this game to determine who finishes 7th and 8th.
Try time, Red Whalers, ladies and gentlemen. The Red Whalers taking the scores to 43, Namibia 7.
(43-7), and there's still the conversion attempt. And that goes just wide. And the final score in this placing match is Red Whalers 43 and Namibia 7.
Tonight we have the fifth place team with the 2018 Safari Sevens.
.43.7 is the final score. And the presentation is going to be made. This is going to be very quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to award the fifth place team. I'd like to ask the Red Whalers.
So the Red Whalers lining up, and all that's going to happen is that they're going to receive
Now to
a
award the
trophy.
fifth place team. Gordon Rabundo, CEO of Nairobi Hospital. We will be joined by Oscar Mango, General Rugby Director in charge of development.
So there's a presentation. Oscar Mango from the Kenya Rugby Union and Gideon Dundo as the team marches in. The Red Whalers, and they all stand by as they get ready to receive the trophy, finishing 7th in this competition after a 43-7 win over Namibia. A select side with players who play for Kenya and others, and they take that one photo opportunity as the trophy is presented to them, as we will look at Starehe MP
Joining the captain of the Red Whalers side.
Musically
Gordon
known as
Rabundo,
Jaguar.
CEO of Nairobi Hospital. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Red Whalers.
As the Red Whalers receive their 7th place trophy. And there they are, finishing 7th, and the presentation has been done. And we're now moving on to the placing match for position 5 and 6. It's getting closer and closer to the business end. Well, from right to left of your picture, or one we just start with, second from right, Deputy President William Ruto, Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Chief HSR, Chairman of the Kenya Rugby Union, Richard Mwela, and
the sixth place match between Portugal
was Jaguar. So it's now time for the 5th and 6th place match, and this is Portugal versus Homeboys.
And lining up for Portugal is Hago, Granate, Stilwell, Felipe, Vassalo, Cardoso, Coninao, Caetano, Storti, Lorenzo, Trepa, and Marta. While Homeboys line up with Difu, Nyakundi, Ongayo, Kangeri, Soi, Aimba, Juma, Ochoro, Mwale, Remke, Maro, and Akwe. And as we were introducing the teams, an early line break from Portugal, the try being scored by Fernandez Hago, putting the scores to 5-0.
Portugal drawing first blood, ladies and gentlemen. Taking the lead and the scores to Portugal 5. Remember, 3, Homeboys RFC 0.
Portuguese keen on finishing this tournament on a high.
Remember, 3, Homeboys RFC team.
They have been regular visitors to Nairobi.
Stanley Park National 7th Circuit Champions 2018. Taking on a perennial HSBC 7th, Portugal. And the promotion E successful, Portugal 7th, remaining at 3, Homeboys 0.
And we just catch a glimpse of the replay. Fernando Hago, his line break and eventual burst of speed leading him to the try line. The as Portugal lead by 7 points to 0. And that is Hago again having a go at Bush Mwale. He has a go at the try line. Hago doesn't go that far. Marshalled out into touch.
Time, Portugal. Portugal, ladies and gentlemen, getting the second try. Taking the scores to Portugal 12.
Well, the decision has been given by the referee. It is a try. Hago goes over the chalk, but I don't think he'll have much more to do in this game. Going down, looking uncomfortable. Or maybe just staging a sit-in in the try box. Remember, Nairobi is close to 800 meters above sea level, and the altitude can get to you, especially if you're from regions quite close to sea level. Remember, Portugal and Spain renowned for all their coastal resorts. Not saying that Kenya doesn't have its own. That's even why we did call this tournament. To more serious matters, it is a 12-0 lead for Portugal against Homeboys in the 5th place final at the Safari Sevens. 2 more matches coming up. The 3rd place final between Spain and Morans, and at 5:14 p.m. the big one, the cup final. Defending champion Shujaa taking on Samurai. Hago is back on his feet. Restart is high. They have not given Homeboys any breathing space. Tearing down them. That is Miguel Trepa back to Hago. He is keen to score a hat-trick. Brian Naimba goes down. And this is Bush Mwale, former Kenya Sevens international, an alumnus of the Kakamega High School. Alongside Alvin Otieno and Augustine Lugonzo. The teams in this tournament, Augustine Lugonzo featuring for Samurai. Route 1, the hard man, the strong man. He goes over Homeboy's first try.
Try time, number 3, Homeboys. Try scorer, ladies and gentlemen, Max Kanyeri.
Maxwell Kanyeri plays his rugby for Menengai Cream, who are obviously here. Started rugby playing career at the Ofafa Jericho High School alongside Kenya Simba's hooker Peter Ka. Brian Naimba with the conversion attempt. It sails wide. 12 points to 5 in of Portugal. They had a blazing start to this game. With the restart, it just goes 10, but is claimed by Portugal. But he was adjudged to have put a foot out into touch. It will be a line out throw for Homeboys. Out claimed in the air by Victor Ochoro. Max Kangeri at scrum half. Brian Ayimba, son of former Kenya Sevens head coach, former Kenya Sevens international Benjamin Ayimba. Arguably the most successful Kenya Sevens head coach to date. It's Storti with the scrum feed. Fabio just looking to fend off the determined Zeden Maro, who gives him no breathing space, but the referee calls for the high tackle. Penalty quickly taken by penalty was quickly taken, but the Homeboys players were not on the mark. They had not gone back the requisite 10. This is Felipe, but the cover tackles coming through for Homeboys. It is still Portugal in the ascendancy heading into the final moments of this match, and this is Storti. He's going to go all the way. A third try for the Portuguese. 17-5 as the hooter sounds for halftime, and the conversion pending.
Ladies and gentlemen, news from Marseille, France. France holds, ladies and gentlemen, middle of the match between the Kenya Seabirds and Canada. Canada 58, Kenya 19.
And the latest scores from Marseille in the repetage are that Canada leading Kenya by 63 points to 19 in the opening match of the repetage. Remember, that is the Kenya Simba's last chance motel for qualification to a first ever Rugby World Cup in 2019. But as it so stands, with precious little remaining in Marseille, 63-19 is the score. Full-time score from Marseille. 65. The Simbas will still have 2 matches. Hong Kong on the 17th and 23rd of November respectively, but for now we are into the Safari Sevens. The action is Imba dances and gets into contact. Wanate Akwe close to the try line. Zeden Maro has been quite influential for Homeboys throughout this tournament. The ball back in the hands of Brian Naimba, Benjamin Naimba, a name that has seamlessly and effortlessly rolled off our tongues for years. This is Max Kangeri, scored the first try for Homeboys. Shrugs off the challenge from Hago. Jan Remke, his offload just doesn't get delivered. Portugal turn over possession. Fabio will look to attack from deep. Brilliant step, and they're off to score yet another try. And that is Storti with the try. Homeboys capitulating under the pressure. Portugal, a very clinical Portugal side that wasn't lucky to lose that cup. Death. Losing by 24 points to 21 when they led 21.
Ladies and gentlemen, Portugal, we are now trying to score 2. Portugal 22. And then I agree, Homeboys 5. The match is successful. Ladies and gentlemen, watch out for the Red Wings. Bringing a lot of one around the beach.
Portugal definitely going to finish 7 campaign with a 1914 win over this very side. They would then lose 12-5 to Morans before defeating Uganda 24-19 to finish second in Pool A. They then fell to that heart-breaking 24-21 defeat to Spain in the Cup quarterfinals. And as we speak, this is Brian Aimba. Lost that ball on the tackle. The advantage remains home of this final at the Safari 7 tournament that was first played in 1996. It's 50 seconds to play. Fabio racing clear down the left. But that was a determined tackle from former Black Blood and Ondi's man, Marco Ngayo, in shirt number 11. Caetano just cutting through the Homeboys defense, throwing them off their rhythm. The DJs have skipped a beat. Portugal going over for yet another try, 29-5.
Portuguese side, ladies and gentlemen, running rings around the Namibia Green Homeboys. Getting the feet dry, taking the scores to Portugal 29. Namibia Green Homeboys 5.
With the conversion, Portugal now lead by 31 points to 5. And they can look forward to making replacements, giving some more players a run out as they secure 5th place. And our picture there once again is Caetano scoring that try. He just dumbfounded the Homeboys defenders by showing them the ball. It always gets you in two minds. You're not too sure whether he's going to pass or attack the space. That restart by the Portuguese did not find the requisite 10. This is big. William Difu steps past 1. Was not able to step past 2. And his pass was lucky, but eventually delivered. Makungayo once again. This is Brian Juma exciting the crowd here. Homeboy is looking to add a second score on the board. Is it going to happen? They are approaching the Portuguese 22, Ayimba to Monate Akwe. Tifu keeps it alive, but he had a foot out to touch. And the referee had also spotted a knock-on. But I think at the end of it all, decides to spare Homeboys from more misery. Full-time score, Portugal 31, Homeboys 5. And it's Portugal finishing 5th at the Safari Sevens. We have 2 more matches to go. Just a confirmation in the meantime of the full-time score from Marseille. The Kenya Simbas have lost their Rugby World Cup repechage opener, going down by 65 points to 19 to Canada. They next play Germany on the 17th of November. But for now, we're down to 2 matches. 2 matches. The 2 matches are the final, pitting Spain against the Morans and Shujaa against some.
Ladies and gentlemen, to award the fifth place team, George Kariuki, Patron Society of Kenya, Silver Kamau, Kenya Revenue CEO, Elisa Fragoso, Ambassador of Portugal, Kenya, ladies and gentlemen.
It is now time for the presentation. For the 5th place trophy, George Kariuki, former, has been the chairman of the Rugby Football Union of East Africa, Excellency Elisa Fragoso, Portugal's ambassador to Kenya, and the players from the country she represents are happy to receive the trophy from their ambassador, and also the chief executive of the Kenya Rugby Union, Sylvia Kamau. So the trophy about to be presented as the Portuguese side huddled together, finishing in 5th place in this tournament. After this, we're going to have the 3rd and 4th playoff match. Kariuki and Ambassador Fragoso are the ones with the trophy, and they present it to the captain of the Portuguese side.
From the Patron Society of Rugby, Silver Kamau,
and they do show that trophy. Their outing in Kenya has been great. They lost to Spain at the quarterfinals right at the death, and they had been leading by 12 points at one time. There's the trophy that they've won from the Kenya Rugby Union. We can see the smiles on their face as they take that photo and give a cheer to the crowd, and definitely they will give a walkabout to all those who are there. So that's a presentation that has been done. Now we're moving on to the 3rd playoff match of this competition, and this is going to be between Spain and the Kenya Morans. The second string side. And the 2 teams do make their run in. Okwambo for this one. The Spanish side playing in the yellow, right? Who up here? We are looking at Christian Hernandez, De Santiago, Alejandro Sanchez, Tobias Sainz Trapaga, Alberto Diaz, J. Mata Sanchez, and here's Dane Barranco. And the Morans side, Michael.
Lining up for the Morans, Sami Motari, Brian Wahinya, Eliakim Kichoi, Timothy Masi, Brian Wandera, Mark Kwemoy, Gregory Ocheng, Shadon Munoko, Paul Mutami, Ronnie Omondi, Vincent Onyala, Eric Ombasa, and the man with the dreads, Arcadia Kwesa.
And getting the proceedings going will be Mark Kwemoy. This is a man who made his name at the 2018 7-second, and we're off, and Spain do win the ball in the air, and they play back. They got the advantage. It's with Trapaga. It's how wide. It's now with De Santiago. On the ball now, Diaz. Tackled by Kwemoy. On the ball immediately. Spain trying to break through the Morans defense. This Moran side under the tutelage of Murunga and Kevin Wambua. Looking for space, spreading the ball out wide, trying to make an offload, but he's tackled. That was Mata Sanchez. On the ball now for Spain, Alejandro Sanchez. Kenya with a turnover. They win that, and it's a penalty for holding on.
Quickly taken penalty from Mark Kwemoy. That was Timothy Masi. Now Brian Wahinya, Vincent Onyala shows his opponents the ball a bit. Likes to attack whatever space was there, but there was a knock-on as he went to the floor. Is KG early on. The scores remain 0-0 between the Morans and Spain in this third place final at the Safari Sevens. It's quite interesting, Daniel. The top four for this competition, or the top five actually, pretty much turning out to be the way they were prior to the tournament in terms of seeding.
All the seeding did work. No heavy surprises coming in this tournament as Spain on the breakdown. That ball is picked up by Barranco. He goes out wide, and it is now with Sanchez. Tackled by Kwemoy. Again, Barranco with that turnover as he tried to tackle that ball. It's sent out, and it's picked now on the ball is Hernandez. Hip tackle coming in from Kwemoy, but stays on his feet, holding on to it. Spread out wide. Out on the short side, but Motari makes tackle. Ombasa called to move closer to that area. And Spain still in their half. Trying a little kick and chase. Can they get to the ball? They do pick it up. And that pass is picked up by Motari. Kenya now attacking, and good one, trying to move away. It's a chance for Kenya to break with one of their players receiving treatment on the field of play. So Kenya basically playing with 6 men.
Indeed, Vincent Anyala still on the floor receiving treatment. It looks like he was concussed. The very brittle Vincent Onyala. We spoke about him earlier on. Still only 22. There he is back up on his feet in shot number 4. But we talked about him earlier on. He's one player who his career progression has been blighted by a lot of injury. He is a very brilliant player, can attack the space, is creative. He has also come through the age grade ranks, but blighted by injury.
So wasn't the match of players to set up for the scrum. Wahinya is the man who's on the ball. Scrum for Kenya. almost lost it out. Motari has got the ball, trying to use a little bit of massive power and pace for Moi.
That is Brian Wahinya now in possession, plays it through to Timothy Massey. Timothy Massey has the attitude of a little terrier dog, feisty as a player. And there's another little terrier in Brian Wahinya, the offload to Mark Pemoi. And he gets the first points on the board. Morans breaking the deadlock, keen to finish third here at the Safari Sevens.
It's a try for Kenya, and Pemoi, the man who's scored that try after a little bit of dummy and an overhead toss coming from Wahinya, is the man who's going to try and make a conversion for the Morans.
Right now, Kenya Morans. Mark Pemoi winning the Morans first try, ladies and gentlemen.
And that conversion is not successful. Conversion not successful, so it stays 5-0. Look at that little dummy, and just over the head of Alberto Diaz. Nkumo scored that try. Kenya with a restart.
It's claimed by the Spaniards under pressure from the Kenyans. They do well to keep that ball alive. That is Sanchez Alejandro, and it is not rosy for him there. Daniel Wahome, on a lighter note, Sanchez Alejandro, a name associated with soap operas.
Well, Alejandro, I have a full list of them. There's also Alberto here.
And Alejandro didn't find it any rosy.
And the Rafael.
As the Morans make a substitution, Vincent Onyala is rested. He is going for the concussion tests and head injury assessment, which is one of the prerequisites of World Rugby as they look to manage the cases of head injuries. This is Eric Ombasa, strong lad. He has the strength of an ox. Do we have oxes in Kenya? Or are they oxen in Kenya? Or do we just have cows?
One is it's oxen. We have cattle.
Anyway, Daniel, let's stop talking about agriculture and livestock. Let's go back to the rugby sevens.
But that tackle was not agricultural as all went to play, and the referee calls it half-time. Shujaa leading, rather the Morans leading Spain by 5 points to 0 as the first half comes to a close. Mark Pemoi with the try, not converted. And it's all about getting that bronze medal. Presentation going to be made immediately after this. Also, the match officials will also be receiving their mementos for this. That's just part of the program. On this third day, yes, as the teams huddle together. Paul Murunga, the man who's got to fit into big shoes with a season, with the World Rugby 7 Series season starting in Dubai and then Cape Town. That's the first tour, the Middle East Africa tour for these sides. And after this, he's got 3 weeks to get his team ready for that tournament, for the 2 tournaments in Dubai and in South Africa. The match officials here, we've got Moses Mingus, Sauda Adiru, Beryl Adiru is the first, is the assistant referee 1, Beryl Akinyi assistant referee 2, and the in-goal officials are Norin Liosi and Masi Dudi. Spain make their way back onto the pitch, as do the Morans. Do Santiago to restart.
Brilliant reception of the ball from Mark Kwemoy. You can see that they've practiced that on the training ground. This is Timothy Massey. He's always looking for a gap, and he's one dangerous player because he also has a ton of speed. Eliakim Kitoi on as a replacement for Vincent Onyala. He is the Mwamba captain. Sami Motari, the captain of this Morans side, plays it to Eric Ombasa. Just looking to keep it alive, and you can see what the Kenyans are doing. Attacking the spaces and offloading. They're trying to play a quick offload game, avoiding to be caught in contact. That is the hard man, Shadon Munoko from Mean Machine. And this is a chase for the ball. Penalty advantage to the Morans as we caught a glimpse of the Portuguese just doing their lap of honor and interacting with the crowd. Shadon Munoko with all the hard work, creating the space and opportunity for Sami Motari to go over the top. Second try for the Morans. They double their lead. It's now 10-0 with the conversion to come.
All Kenya have the advantage with all the cases involving Kitoi, Ombasa, Awahinya, who's basically supposed to be making all the plays. Eventually goes on. Well, just looking at it, the flag is up, and that indicates that the conversion is good. And so the Morans now move up to 12-0 up against Spain in this bronze medal match at the 2018 Surprise Sevens. Just look at that offload that went into the hands of the skipper, Sami Motari. He is one of the Kenyans honored to have won a leg the World Rugby Sevens series. Well, when they go back to the country, everyone knows how it went down. It was huge. The airport had turned it like a bus park. Kenya with a restart, and Spain just looking at the ball, letting it roll. It's in their try, and they do kill it. So it's going to be a free kick for them, and a little bit of clever play coming in from Hernandez. Surface the tackle, and Kumoy. Ball trying to offload, goes the deck. It's taken from him by Rodriguez. Looking to find some space all around this Morans defense, and being held up by Kichoi. Also coming into the fray. The tackle has been released, so that's a call from the referee. Spain have got the ball now, trying to go wide as it looked for the space. Blind post coming through, and Kwemoy kicks the ball forward, and that's a penalty as an advantage that was going to be there. And you can see Masses get a bit agitated, but there was a penalty call, and the referee is going into his pocket. He calls time. The referee looked like he was going into his pocket after that fall, after that tackle. So Spain still with 7 men. Kenya trying to go for territory. As everyone's asking us why there would be a sin bin. So the match officials conferring. Well, there are seven. There are 7 on the pitch, and we know that the referee is into his pocket and filed the Santiago card. So the extra player now has to go out. So they really hadn't picked that out, but thanks to the match officials conferring out wide. So penalty, and Kenya have the advantage. They lost as they tried to go for territory. But now, chance for them to attack.
Shadon Munoko expected that ball, but his ball reception technique wasn't up to scratch. So it bounces off his chest and straight into touch. Line out throw for Spain.
Well, actually not line out, but it's actually a scrum 5 meters in for Spain. That's a call from the referee. He's deemed that ball to have been knocked on because within the boundaries of the pitch. 6-men Spain are trying to break through the Morans defense. And just look at the power of the Morans, and they do steal the ball. Going out wide, that line has been broken, and there is a knock on there, and a second knock on, and it's going to be a scrum for Spain. And Spain, they get the game going, and the tackle is made as we get into the final phase of play. And they try to make territory. Kenya trying to hold back the Spain gain line penalty to Kenya. And it's with Wahinya trying to get to Motari, who loses the ball out, and he's got to chase it down. It's kicked forward, and Spain have got an opportunity to go for the try line, and that ball is picked up by Juan Lucas Martinez, and he scores the try. So it's Morans 12, Spain 5.
And Daniel, I'd meant to tell you this earlier. Morans needed to be wary of the Spanish comeback threat. We've seen them dig deep. They just probably left this a little too late because they're heading into the final play. As we just catch a glimpse of their Iberian neighbors, Portugal, completing their lap of honor. The hooter has sounded, but this match has to be restarted. And from the restart, it will be key for Spain. They want to retain possession and tie the match.
Wow.
Well, amidst confusion, this match ends.
12-5 it ends.
5.
Well, the hooter went, and as the conversion is being taken, that is the final score. Morans 12, and Spain finished in 5th place. And so we are now going to have the presentation for the 3rd place team, who are Kenya Morans, who are lining themselves up.
You and very many lovely Spain, and welcome back to Germany next year for the 2019 edition of the Safari Summit.
Run Kenya's head of media and publicity, Maureen Mambo, Royal Endo Kenya Rugby Union, in charge of squads and elite performance, making the way forward, and the chief executive officer of the Kenya Rugby Union, Sylvie Kamau, make their way forward.
Today, Ray Orlando, Kenya Rugby Union Director in charge of national squads and elite performance to award the 3rd place team.
And the Kenya Morans make the way for the presentation of the third place trophy.
Coached by assisted by and the team manager Eric Moreno. Gentlemen, good stuff. Finishing in third. 2018 Safari 7th.
So the Morans, and just looking at this setup, Paul Murunga will have assessed the players who have been playing for the Morans and find out who is worthy of making it to the Shuja squad for the tour. Remember presenting that trophy to Sami Motari. That is the third place. Kenya Morans finished in third place. It's time for that photo opportunity with the team. Well, you heard it from the crowd themselves. The trophy simply owned, they simply say Okombe, as the Morans make the way out of that pitch. Coming up next is going to be the main cup final. It is Shujaa versus Samurai. As you take a look at this front side, they really wanted to take one of the a photo with that. And one joint photo, Shujaa, rather Morans and Spain. These joint photos always memorable for all. These players always well become when that happens. So that's a photo of the teams that finished third and fourth respectively. You take a look at the crowd has come to watch this rugby festival that's been running from 1996. It's been taking place every year with the exception of the year 2017.
Daniel Wahome, it is time for the big one. The moment that everyone has been waiting for. The cup final between defending champions Shujaa and perennial finalist Samurai. This is the cup final at the Safari 7s, back at the RFU ground after an 8-year hiatus. The Safari 7s returning after being held last year. Remember, between 2011 and 2016, it was held first at the National Stadium and then at the Moi International Sports Center in Kasarani. But it has returned to the venue where it first took place and was held for 14 years between 1996 and the year 2000. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all that we have been waiting for. capital of the weekend. We started our live broadcast on Friday and will be coming to an end within the next 30 or so minutes. Eden Agero gets the cup final at the Safari Sevens underway. Dennis Ombachi chasing after that ball.
Turning out towards Kenya Shujaa.
That is the Kenya Prison Officer, Augustine Lugonzo.
Malmenotino.
Playing it out wide to Frank Wanyama. He's up against many people that he knows. That tackle was decisive, although we can see a man on the ground. Dennis Ombachi writhing in pain.
Charles Omondi.
Doesn't look too comfortable.
Michael Wanjala. Cyprian Kuto. Leonard Mogaisi. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the final.
Let's just see that there.
2016.
Dennis Ombachi fell awkwardly as he executed the tackle on Frank Wanyama. He is feeding the team of medics led by Namek
Your
Bobeko.
center referee, Mone Ferreira.
And this cup final being officiated by South African Mone Ferreira. Teams who have won the Safari Sevens. Kenya have won this competition most number of times, 9 victories, before Shujaa, which is also Kenya as well, posted victories. But just looking at it, Kenya's first win was in 1997. They again won it in the year 2003, 2004. They won it between 2008 and 2010. After which the decision was made to field 2 strong Kenyan teams in the Safari Sevens under the monikers of Shujaa and Morans. Shujaa first won this tournament in the year 2000, then again won it in 2013, 2016. All the questions being asked of Shujaa by a very determined Samurai squad. Remember, they won this tournament for the first time in 2015, and they are in the ascendancy. Tony Owar up there, shrugging off the challenge from Charles Omondi. These two are teammates at the Strathmore Leos, and that is a try. Has been awarded to that man, Ruan Mostad. He has this knack for finding the try line in big games. Remember, he also scored a crucial intervention during the match against Morans in the semi-final, a match that secured Samurai's final berth, and he's barged over the chalk here. Augustine Lugonzo tasked with the kicking duties.
Well, Samurai putting a lot of pressure on the Kenya defense, which means that they've got to regroup and look at everything, and they're doing quite well. And the conversion is good coming in from the prisons officer, Augustine Lugonzo. So Lugonzo making it 7-0 for Samurai against Shujaa.
Daniel, these two teams have played in the last 3 Safari Sevens finals, 2015, 2016, and again in 2018. And the head count is 1-1, each team with a cup title victory. But it is Samurai with their swords out. Hopefully not Samurai swords though.
The Bushido blades, well, let's find out. Well, there was a knock-on, and there is a scrum that's been given to Kenya as the skies open up at the RFUA grounds. As the Spanish side trying to do a Macarena dance, they're trying to do their own shuffle. Match officials, the flags for the match officials, the runners-up medals, and the runners-up trophy. The top the trophy for the top point scorer, for the top try scorer, the most valuable player. Who will your bet be for the most valuable player? I'll also go for Dustin Tabu, and one other man who stood out would have to go for Marta Sanchez. I mean, you cannot, brother, from the Portuguese side, or Manuel Marta of Portugal. That's another man. Portugal did finish fifth, but he had the Portuguese side is another man who stand out. But from the final, that's where we'd get one. So it's Mostert and Tabu. Let's hope we've not dropped the commentator's castle. These two men as they select the most valuable player. Everything else, points and top scoring, is based on what's on the board. So there is nothing much you can do about that. No opinion about that. Those are just facts, and they've been scoring here. You can see the Morans players taking selfies with crowds, everybody who's out there as we get going in the second half of this Safari Sevens final. Shujaa in green, Samurai in red, as Katli Arense without offload, and the ball is on to Bram Fenta. He's got the space trying to break through the Kenya defense, playing hard. It's picked out, and there is space there. A try-saving tackle, two of them, as it tried to move forward, and the try has been awarded to the little Hugo Styles. So it is now 14 points to 12. The conversion has been successful, so it goes down to 14. Look at that. From that breakdown, look at Hugo Styles. Get off that tackle and eventually placing the ball on the line. So that counted as a try. Styles for the restart. The referee, the Ferreira. 14 apiece. One in the air. And Douglas did not release. Olindi. Aguero. Look at Tabu. Looking for a gap where he can pull off some burst of speed. He's been making all the plays for Shujaa in this tournament. stop, and it resumes now. The line out, easily won by Samurai. Styles out there. Katli Aranse. Tackle. Kenya. All on to the gain line, trying to keep Samurai inside their 22. So it is now Samurai 19, Shujaa 14, Katli Aranse. 3 handoffs in a row. The players get able to stop him as it makes his motions through. As there's still not one conversion. Hugo Styles picks up the ball. He's 7 meters out. He's got just asking the referee about how much time he has. So, Samurai going to make this a 7-point game. Yes, 21 points it is now after that successful conversion. Look at Katli Aranse. First of all, Eden Aguero, then Olindi. And he's got some pace, and he makes his way right under the posts, extending Samurai's lead. 21 points to 14. Well, Hugo Styles thought that time was done. He thought that time was done. And you can actually even see his motion, whatever he's saying. As Samurai bringing Solomon Okia. It's a line out for Kenya. Kenya win now. Aguero asking for the ball. Breaks through the line, the tackle is made. So they've got a little bit of sweeping to do. And penalty advantage, Kenya. Knock on by Shujaa in this final. They're trailing by 7 points. They need to score a converted try if they're to force this game into sudden death. We've had 3 matches going to sudden death. It's very simple. Scratch and kick the ball into touch. And the final whistle has been blown, and Samurai have stand Shujaa 21-14. And Samurai are the winners of the 2018 Safari Sevens Rugby Tournament. And following this is going to be a presentation. This is going to be the order. It was Katli Aranse who made that one presentation, and they did so well to make sure that they did win that trophy, make sure that everything would go well for them. and they've made that impact as the presentation setup is prepared. So it is time for the presentation, and that's going to be in just a few minutes. What's the order for the presentation? 5 for the match officials who are there, and also 2 plaques for Mone Ferreira and Saida Adiru. Well, disappointment for Shujaa. They really wanted to defend this, and looking at the setup and knowing very well that they've got one big competition coming, and that is the Dubai Sevens. What would be the takeout, especially, and things that Paul Murunga and Kevin Wambu have got to look at over the next 1 month?
Now proceed to the match officials in the wide. And I'd like to ask bringing our sales director people and the king of the honorable treasurer of organization Aroni to kindly join us to award the match officials, the ones that are taking us through the final of the classic test between the Queen Shujaa and Samurai.
Time for the presentations, and we have got Joshua Aroni, the Rugby Union honorary treasurer, and from Ko, who are going to be making the presentation for the match officials, led by Mone Ferreira, the man who was in charge of this final, and Sarah Drew also is going to be presenting. So those who are going to receive this is Linus Kinode, who was the second assistant referee. We've got Victor Dwart, who was the first assistant referee. We've got Peter Leo, Sarah Adiru, all receiving their awards. We've got Constant Cup. And there are 2 plaques which are going to be presented to Mone Ferreira and Saida Adiru. The people oversaw these finals. And there they are with their mementos, together with the presentation party. They've received the trophies, and it's time for them to get that one photo opportunity. It's that photo that they will always remember.
Introducing to you the match officials. Awarded by General Gary Sales Director Rico and Joshua Aroni, honorable treasurer of the rugby. Thank you so much, referees.
And it's the next presentation is going to be the run-up medals, and this is going to go to Shujaa. The presentation is going to be made by the Honorary Secretary of the Kenya Rugby Union, George is Gangla Oduor. This is Eric Kiniti from East Africa Breweries. So Shujaa in that shot class to Samurai.
Likewise, the runners up. We're playing the Shujaa to make the way forward to receive the individual medal awards from Jeff Dagla, the Honorable Secretary Kenya Rugby Union, joined by Eric Kiniti, Corporate Affairs, KBL.
So Shujaa, one's holding back the presentation. So they've had to be called in. You can tell from the looks of these players' faces is that they feel disappointed as they make their way in. And they're led by Altieno, Manical Bufa, is Bachi also. So going to receive their medals.
Congratulations to runners up, looking at the Shujaa. Pretty sure all the fans around here were rooting for you.
Silver medals.
You have an actual opportunity at the Safari Sevens 2019.
Now, they are receiving their medals. This is the team. They've lost 21-14 to Samurai. They've got the World Rugby 7 Series that are going to be coming, and they receive their awards, and they're also going to be receiving the runners-up trophy, and this is going to be presented to them. It's going to be picked up by their captain, Eden Aguero. Still there, and time for them to receive the trophy. So moving forward, Eric Kiniti and Odur Gangla presenting the trophy to Eden Aguero, the captain of the Shuja side. You can look at them trying hard to draw a smile. As we take a look at the chief guest, the Deputy President, Honorable William Ruto. So the presentation has been done, and they've got, and they make the cheer about the trophy, saying "Okombe." So there they are. The players now leaving the presentation area. What we're going to have now are the presentations for particular awards by individual awards. We're going to have the top point scorer, the top try scorer, and the most valuable player. And this presentation is going to be made by the Cabinet Secretary for Sport, Honorable Rashid Chesa, the Kenya Rugby Union Vice Chair, Thomas Opio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the top point scorer of the 2018 Safari Summit, Manuel Mata from Portugal.
Well, Manuel Mata, that's a man who's contender, for more trophies. And Manuel Mata,
we'll make the way forward to receive the individual award from the CS Sports. We will probably look in the one Rashid Chesa, joined by Kenya Rugby Union's Director, Honorary Elected.
so, and receiving his trophy is Manuel Marta. This is the man who's been doing all the kicking duties for Portugal, setting up the plays, and he did score a hat-trick of tries. And there he is with his trophy, receiving it from Rashid Echesa. That's the top point scorer, and now on to the top try scorer.
To the top try scorer of the 2018. The top try scorer of the 2018, the 27th, Portugal's Fernandes Hugo.
Well, Fernandes Hugo, that's a man who's been scoring the tries. And so Portugal, interesting now, going home with 3 trophies for finishing 5th, and also for the top point scorer, the top try scorer.
With 8 tries.
Receives it from
CSC.
trying to shake hands with Odro Gangla and Ray Orlando as he receives memento and is looking for that. Wants to stand there, doesn't want to, and he's asked just to move ahead so that they can take some of those pictures for the man who scored 8 tries, Huggles Fernandes. And it's now time for the most valuable player.
And I'd like to ask once again, the team awarding the remainder to award the most valuable player. And the most valuable player is Bradley Arense from Samurai.
Well, Katli Arense, the man who scored that winning try for Samurai. Well, we spoke about the commentators' cast. We had it for Daniel Tabuban. It's not that match, not so many times that you call in for, a player from a losing side being the most valuable player. But Katli Arense, he's been there, he's been quite electric, and everything has gone so well for him. And Samurai, the winning side, also have got the most valuable player, or as he's properly known, the player of the final.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. You are welcome to Kenya next year for the surprise event. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to the winners' medals. I'd like to ask His Excellency.
Now time for the presentation of the winners' medals, and the presentation is going to be made by the Deputy President, His Excellency William Ruto, the Chair of the Kenya Rugby Union, Richard Omwela, and also the Cabinet Secretary for Sport, Rashid Echesa, are going to make that presentation. And remember, as the winners' medals are being presented to the Samurai team, remember that that trophy that you're seeing just to the left of your picture weighs 30 kilograms. It's made of bronze, so we'd like to see how Mr. Gentleman will handle that. So the gentlemen have that as they make their way to that presentation area. And you can see a tunnel of honor as they show that Samurai enjoy that. And just take a look at that as the medals are being presented. They make their way forward. Frank Wanyama receiving the medal from the Deputy President. As they all present with that, it comes with sport. It gives you a lot of it. And the Cabinet Secretary, handing on to the medals as the Deputy President personally hands in the medals to the 15 players in this Samurai outfit. And just look out for something. I'm just seeing something. It's something that you do not see in Kenyan sport every day. But Lugonzo has come with his young child. Has come with the child. And hello to, it's always a great opportunity for these players and for their children to come. And child usually wants that trophy around their neck, as all these other the VIPs are around. As the presentation continues, the medals going through to all members of that Samurai staff and also their local liaison people. It's a momentous occasion for them, quite memorable for them, including their convener, Terry Sands, the man who's done so much to make this touring team.
Ladies and gentlemen, that trophy is quite heavy. But eventually, His Excellency will lift the trophy to award the winning team. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the 2018 Samurai Sevens winners, Samurai Sevens.
And Samurai have been awarded with that trophy. Deputy President, Cabinet Secretary, and Richard Omwela all feeling the weight of that trophy. The players themselves trying to have a feel of it, and they won that group photo, you know, with the trophy in front of them. Two elephants clashing. It needs two players to hold it aloft, and they do lift it up. And look at Mugaisi's child, just wondering what is all this excitement about this trophy, and the players are there dancing around it, and the person who's leading them in a dance is, look at Frank the Tank Onyama leading them through a dance. And you can tell that the jig truly belongs to this continent, and they did enjoy it, and they continue more with the dancing on the trophy as they lift up that trophy, and there they are. So there's going to be a photo moment, and after that we are going to be taking interviews with Eden Aguero and all those, as the Deputy President moves to have a photo opportunity with the Shuja side. You know, give them a little bit of consolation. They finished second, so all the Kenya team players having to take that photo.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brand Kenya, supporter of Kenya Rugby Union, would like to award the visiting
As you see the Samurai team, the winners of the 2018 Safari Sevens. What a tournament it has been. And Michael, looking at the 2018 tournament, looking at the final itself, first thing, upsets are now normal. What will be the story going forward for that?
Spain's team manager, Portugal's team manager and coach, Uganda's team manager and coach, Namibia's team manager and coach, and last but not least, Samurai's team manager and coach to make their way forward to receive the uncle's courtesy of Brand Kenya.
So that's the Deputy President William Ruto with the Kenya Sevens players, and like they say, a battery of journalists trying to get every little piece of that action as this tournament comes to a close. Samurai the team winners, and from that club you can tell only one thing, that a promise has been made to the Kenya Sevens side. So as the Deputy President William Ruto makes his way out of the field of play, and also that photo that everyone wants to see taken with the team, as everyone shuttles and, you know, trying to create that space, that memorable photo everyone wants with the VIPs who attend this event. They are, everyone, the Kenya Sevens side, as you can see with that photo opportunity, the Deputy President, they finished second, losing 24-21, and that's going to be a shock on the system. There's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done by Paul Murunga, as everyone asked for that wide angle and the space is created. All those photos are taken. What's next for them? So, there it is. The photos have been taken, and now the deputy president will be making his way. Deputy president now making his way away from the RFUA grounds, just in front of our commentary position after the presentation of this trophy. So that will be a wrap. And a final word for you, Kwambo, knowing that it's not been a great day for Kenyan rugby. That 63-19 loss to Canada at the repechage, and then the final where the Kenyan teams finished second and third respectively.
After a 3-day affair here at the Rugby Football Union of East African grounds at the Ngong Road, curtains coming down. Unfortunately for Kenya, the trophy is, carried by Samurai Select. Very unfortunate indeed. But for sportsmen, we always say we win some, we lose some. But nonetheless, it's been a very, very good tournament here indeed for the Kenyan teams. I'm flanked by the two Kenyan captains for both the Shujaa and the Morans. Shujaa finishing on the position number 2, and of course Morans finishing 3rd overall. But generally we say congratulations to all the Kenyan teams that were taking part. Mwamba, Homeboys Rugby, Morans, not forgetting Shujaa. By the end of the day, it was all about Kenya. Safari 7th. Remember, it's been brought to you live on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner, Daniel Wahome, and of course Michael on the commentary booth, and I'm Fapidi pitch side, just wrapping it up with the two captains to find out how it's been. First and foremost, congratulations and well done. Position number 3, not many expected. Many Kenyans were really rooting for an all-Kenyan affair in the final. It was never to be. What do you make of the tournament this far that you finished position number 3 as Morans?
I think I'm happy with the boys' performance. We came in as underdogs, but we've surprised many, and the young boys have really stepped up to show their mettle here.
Fantastic. You're looking at probably a learning curve for the Morans in this tournament, and the future is bright, for Kenya as a nation. What would you make of the young boys who, like you've mentioned, who are really coming up and played some very good rugby over the 2 days?
I think they're very exciting. They have the energy and they have the will to push the bodies further. So I mentioned a few of them, like Brian Wahinya. He's been outstanding this tournament. We didn't get the results we expected, but he's shown what he has to bring to the table. Others amongst the many young boys, I think they really stepped up to the podium today. It was unfortunate, but we have the 3rd position, so we are happy.
Where do you think we went wrong as Morans?
We panicked a bit in the semi-final, to be honest, but it's a learning curve for the young boys. It's the first time getting to 3rd position, actually a semi-final, Safari 7s. So if we correct just that, we get rid of the stage fright a bit, I think we'll be a force to reckon with.
Thank you very much, and congratulations once again. Position number 3, of course, you can showcase the trophy. Here they are showcasing that they got something out of it. Thank you very much, Captain. Well, by Captain Eden Agero of the Shujaa. Remember yesterday when we spoke to him, he said that they are looking at being in the final. For them, a final clearly is a step in the right direction. Anything short of a final would not have been satisfactory. Eden, you mentioned a final yesterday. You are in the final today. Would you look at the tournament as a success?
Yeah, it's a very big success for us, because the Safari 7s usually use it as a platform to prepare before the World Series. And coming to the final, anyone can win, so we are pretty happy about the results. Not the results we wanted, but we can't beat ourselves down.
Very tight indeed. Looking at the final, we saw you conceded a try, came back, conceded again, came back. Does that show the mental strength in this team that you are a never-say-die team?
Yes, definitely. In top class rugby, I think you just have to have the resilience. It's never over till the last whistle goes. So maybe we should have maybe a bit of patience, because in a better side cannot go back and forth. But I'll say it's a learning curve, yeah.
From as the captain, the playing unit, would you say that you are depressed? You're not, you're leaving the tournament with your shoulders, not high? Would you say the playing unit is psychologically affected by the loss in the final?
Because we have a lot of young guys. Most of them, this is the first maybe international tournament they've participated in, and for them pushing till the final, I think they're going home a bit happier. And just knowing that they're able to compete in a final, in an international final, I think that's a very big pickup from the tournament.
Kenyans are watching you right now, and probably your last word as we finalize so that we get the coach as well. What would you promise Kenyans? Because we know Dubai is coming up and Cape Town as we start the HSBC series. What would you promise Kenyans who are watching you right now?
Yeah, I'd say that Kenyans need to be patient with us. You can see there's a lot of young guys. We're trying to rebuild the team back again, yeah. So they'll be seeing a lot of new faces in the coming World Series. But what we promise them is when we wear the jersey, we represent to the best of our ability.
When we wear, we will represent you to the best of our ability. Congratulations and thank you very much for making time to be with us, Eden. And we wish you all the best in your future endeavors, including the HSBC leg starting in Dubai and to Cape Town. Thank you very much. Also joined now by the coach of the Sevens, that is Shujaa, Paul Murunga, a.k.a. Pau. As I mentioned earlier on, talking offline with him at some point, he was really looking at being in the final and looking at they've been to the final. Coach, are you happy with the performance that you've witnessed in the entire tournament since we started off yesterday until the final whistle went today, losing to Samurai Sevens?
Yeah, of course we are happy. Having prepared the team for 2 weeks now, and I think the performance that they've put today, I'm very happy. Shujaa finished second, and of course Morans finishing third. Just shows us that we have a good depth that we can build on for the near future.
Well, good seeing that Morans were there, Shujaa were there. Are we likely to now see a blend of both Morans and Shujaa to make the final 7 squad? Because we know Dubai Towns after that. Are we likely to see a blend of the same?
Yeah, it's the same team. Morans and Shujaa is the same team. We just decided to split them and having a bit of more experienced guys in the Shujaa team. But I think going forward, we'll just try to strike a balance between them and make sure that we are coming up with a very strong side.
Coach, we've seen a blend of young upcoming players, the Olindis, the Anduvatis. Are we likely to see more of this? Because clearly, if Kenya is to be a powerhouse, not just today, but in the near future, we must ensure that we have a very good blend and transition as we see of some of the experienced players bringing in young ones. Are we likely to see more of that?
For sure, we are looking to have more than 10 players being exposed to the World Series and playing at that level. So for me, we have a bright future, and this is just the beginning for good things to come. And I'm very sure by the time next year we're having same Safari Sevens, I'm pretty sure that we'll have a very strong side and a well-developed team.
What can you promise Kenyans? We are now looking at Dubai and Cape Town starting off the HSBC Sevens. Kenyans are watching. What can you promise them?
A good performance and consistency in the team, and making sure that we have depth in the same team.
Coach, thank you very much for having made your time to be with us this afternoon, and congratulations, and we wish you all the best as you start your HSBC Sevens series in Dubai, and of course immediately after that in Cape Town. Thank you very much, and we wish you all the best, Pau.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. Remember, Shujaa finishing in the position number 2, then Morans number 3. But on the ladies' side, they promised when we first spoke yesterday that there's not so much to talk about here. We will deliver this. I don't know whether they are so confident or it's about the tournament that they've seen the caliber of players. I'm joined by Kevin Wambua, the head coach of the Lionesses team, who is also assistant coach to Paul Murunga in the men's team, that's the Shujaa, and of course Philadelphia Orlando, the captain, who promised that they will deliver. Let me start by the captain. Philadelphia, you promised, you have delivered. Congratulations. How was the tournament?
It has been awesome to weekend. We had to put our best day that we are going to do our best, and there's the trophy. It shows we were ready to deliver.
Uganda Cranes team clearly, pushed you to the wall at some point, but the moment you got your gear on, you just never looked back, and it was like a walkover or a training session for you. Would you say that Ugandans are not, up to your standard, and you're now looking for more, or it was just a case of you guys putting your best foot forward on the day?
I wouldn't say Uganda is a bad side. They are equally good, but we have to put our best foot forward as Lionesses and showcase our talent. Nothing more, nothing less.
Nothing more, nothing less. We are now looking at Dubai coming up as we, quickly. What would you promise Kenyans as well? Because Kenyans now really want to know.
In our new setup, we have young talents coming in. We are going there to compete. We're not just going there just to play. We're going to compete and also show the world that Lionesses are the next team to watch out there.
Lionesses, the next team to watch. Those are words from Philadelphia Orlando, the captain of the Lionesses team. Congratulations to them. Coach, congratulations. First and foremost, you were very confident yesterday. Now that you've wrapped up this, we are looking at bigger tournaments to come. And of course, very strong teams. The South African teams that we know very well have really been giving us a run for our money. But we are narrowing the gap. What would you say of the general assessment of the tournament from your point of view as the coach?
Well, for us, it's been a very positive tournament in terms of what we wanted to accomplish. We had a lot of young players coming into the setup, and we just wanted to try out different combinations. And we're just looking forward to Dubai now because we're less than almost 2 weeks away. So it's good blending in the young players and the senior players holding their own. We actually got also match fitness, which is important for us heading forward. Not the teams that we are going to play with in Dubai have already played one tournament. For us, it was important for us to play in this tournament. First of all, to give the girls some confidence, with the fans and the big wins. So it's confidence for them and a lot of motivation in terms of how we train in the next 2 weeks.
Any learnings that we picked from this tournament that we can carry along with us as we prepare for Dubai?
Yes, definitely. I think we just need to work harder in terms of we just need to improve our fitness a little bit, and we need to work hard on our decision making, especially on the breakdown. I think we got penalized a couple of times, so that's an area that I have to look at as we head back to training next week.
Well, interesting. We saw a Kenya club select. Your final word. Are we likely to see them into the Lionesses team?
Actually, some of them have been training with the Lionesses, and they just didn't make the squad. That's why for the select side. They are going to join us back in training, and we're going to assess a few players and see if they can make the final cut before we head to Dubai.
Coach, congratulations for winning that. I wouldn't want to talk about Shujaa because the coach has already spoken. But congratulations, and we wish all you the best as you head to Dubai and Cape Town. Thank you very much. Remember, this is more players. We are joined by the winning captain that's from the Samurai select side. Congratulations, first and foremost. You mind introducing yourself?
My name is Bron.
From Cape Town.